you there? What? Dad? What's going on here? Dad? The door was wide open, chaos all over the place, and my father has vanished without a trace. I hope nothing has happened to him. I'd better start looking for him. My father was never the picture of organization, but not even my place looks this bad. Looks like something has been embedded in that stone. It has a red-violet glow. The phone in the office. Private conversations are strictly prohibited. I don't know what's happened here, but I'd better call the police.
Berlin Police Department.
Hello? Nina Kalinkov here. You've got to send someone here right away. My father has disappeared without a trace.
Since when?
No idea. I wanted to see him at work, but he wasn't there. Instead, the place looks like it's been ransacked.
Is your father suicidal or mentally unstable?
What? No, of course not.
Sorry, we can't do anything then. Adults can only be reported missing if their lives are in danger or if there are extraordinary circumstances.
But this is an extraordinary circumstance.
Keep calm. I'm sure your father had something important to take care of and will get in touch soon. Don't worry.
Something important to take care of? Hello? Did you listen to anything I said? It looks like there was an earthquake here. Do you think he created this chaos himself and is looking for a cleaning lady right now?
Like I said, I can't do anything for you. Sorry.
Great. Thanks for nothing. You were a big help. What do I have to do? Send them 2 fingers first for them to get their butts in gear? All these files and records have been thrown out over the floor. It wouldn't have been Daddy. Someone was in a great hurry to find something. I don't want to take it along, and besides, I don't have the foggiest idea what I should do with it. A photo of Daddy on one of his expeditions. Written on the back is 1958, Vladimir Kalenkov, and I've seen the photo before. But who was the other guy in the photo? And why was the photo torn up? I'll glue it into my diary. It might be important somehow. An award from the Russian Academy of Science. I think that was for an expedition that my father made in the 50s or 60s. I haven't the faintest clue how this thing is supposed to work. Loud music? Coming out of the office? It's not the stuff Daddy listens to, so he can't be in there. Maybe the person in there can tell me where he is, though. The door seems to be blocked from the inside, and the music coming from the room is so loud, my knocking probably can't be heard. There's an index card with Max Gruber written on it. They must have taken the real nameplate down during the renovation work, and now there is an index card with Daddy's name on it. I take it the fuses are in here. This one's locked. That's an escape plan with all of the rooms in the museum. It's not up to date considering a few of the rooms have been blocked off for renovation. king of the dinosaurs. Even the reproductions inspire fear. I certainly wouldn't want to run into one of them. I hear noises coming from the statue. It looks like someone's in there. There's a hidden door. Eddie, what are you doing in here?
Oh, Miss Nina. Are they still here?
Still here? Who?
They came. I couldn't see, but suddenly I knew that they were there, and I went into a panic. I had to hide. And then I saw them. They looked like they were floating, but they were just blurs. And the air was vibrating. They didn't speak, but these voices in my head, hundreds of voices.
Eddie, have you been drinking again?
No, I haven't been drinking, I swear. Well, at least not a lot. But they were really there. I could see them, I could feel them. I wasn't imagining things, believe me. Those black capes, with those bony fingers. I'll never forget it.
It's okay, Eddie. Just come out of there and calm down. The poor guy's nerves are shot. I should talk to him after he's calmed down a bit. What luck! The key fits. As long as I don't know which fuse belongs to which room, I'd better not touch them. There's an index card with Max Gruber written on it. The fuses are all numbered. I expect that the numbers stand for the separate rooms in the museum. A list of local pizza delivery services, information about the upcoming construction of an antenna tower in the neighborhood, a guy by the name of Schamberger whose dog Whiskey is missing. As far as I can tell, nothing interesting. That's an escape plan with all of the rooms in the museum. It's not up to date. On this list are the names of the employees of the museum. Scientific Director, Vladimir Kalenko. Office 5. In Office 4, there is this Max Gruber. I'll just turn Max Gruber's blaring music down to a bearable level.
And I didn't save. What a mess. Redoing all of that work is gonna take hours.
Mr. Gruber, please, let me in. I need to talk to you.
What? Hold on just a sec.
Hello, you're Nina Kolenkov, right?
Yeah, how did you know that?
Your father told me about you. I'm so happy to finally meet you. Were you wanting to have a look over your father's shoulder while he's working?
I wanted to see him, but when I got here, the door to the museum was standing wide open, and his office was in total chaos. Oh yeah, Eddie was crouching, completely terrified inside the reproduction of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and was stammering something about floating creatures.
Doesn't exactly sound like a strict observation of the work rules. But I'm not at fault. I haven't come out of my office for hours. What does your father have to say about it?
That's exactly it. He's gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone? He couldn't have just disappeared into thin air.
I have a sneaking suspicion that something terrible has happened here. You really didn't see anything?
No, unfortunately not.
My father's room looks like it's been rummaged through. Do you know what my father was working on last?
Not exactly. Actually, he was supposed to have been taking inventory. We're renovating.
Yeah, I know, but
But he mentioned recently that the inventory wasn't top priority right now. Something came up that he wanted to tend to first.
you don't happen to know what that was, do you?
No, like I said, I was stressed out too.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary recently? Any strange occurrences? Was my father behaving differently than usual?
No, not really. We haven't seen much of each other in the last couple of days. I was under a lot of stress, and he seemed like he had a lot to do too.
Darn.
Maybe you should get the police involved. The whole thing sounds a bit unsettling.
Yeah, I already tried, but they don't seem to be interested in my father's disappearance. The caretaker was totally out of his mind, stammering something about men in black robes and strange voices.
Eddie? Well, you know, he's a really great guy, but...
But he likes to hit the bottle, I know. But I've never seen him like that before. He seemed like something had really scared him.
Well, if someone really was here, then Eddie might have seen something, and combine his lively imagination with a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, but I think I'll go ahead and talk to him as soon as he's gotten a hold of himself again anyway. He's the only one who might be able to help me. I'll just keep looking. I'm beginning to feel like Eddie does. I'm totally confused, and I'm really starting to feel scared.
If you need help, I'll be here.
Okay, thanks a lot. Who are you and what are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing. Detective Kansky. I'm leading the investigation here, and who are you?
Me? Nina Kalinkov. I called you.
Well, well. So I hear your father disappeared.
Yeah, I arrived here and wanted to see my father. He said he'd still be at the museum, and when I got here, the door to the museum was ajar and it looked like a bomb had hit his office. I'm really worried. Thanks for coming. Do you have any idea what could have happened here? I can't believe that my father could have created such a mess.
I don't even know your father, but we can't rule out anything.
Do you really mean to say that...
I'm not saying anything at all, dearie. I just take all possibilities into account as long as the facts aren't on the table.
Do you think something happened to my father?
Hard to say.
I thought the police wouldn't be able to help me as long as my father's life wasn't in danger.
Listen, girlie. I've been in the business for almost 40 years. I know when something stinks. And this thing really stinks. And if you have something to do with this, then come out with it. I'll find out sooner or later.
Hello? I called the police. Well, more like, I tried to get them to come here. Why would I do that if I had...
Criminals always do the most illogical things. I'm not fooled by such things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have become a detective.
Yeah, all right, I get it. You're a really clever guy. If you find something out, you'll let me know right away, right?
Yeah, I need your phone number and address anyway. And don't leave the city. I might have some more questions. Now get out. You're just getting in the way and messing up the evidence.
Strange guy, this detective, eh?
Yeah, and not exactly the friendliest of his profession. But maybe you have to be like that in his job.
Yeah, could be. The main thing is that he finds out what happened to my father. At least there's someone who believes that something is completely and utterly wrong.
I believe you too.
Thanks.
And I'd like to help you too. I don't need to go to bed anymore anyway, and I can always sleep when I'm dead. So, if I can do something for you...
That's really nice.
Just check and see if your father has already got home. He might be worried already and is gonna sentence you to 2 weeks without allowance because you're late.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Unfortunately, I won't be back at the office until this evening, but please come by or call me. If your father is back, then we'll have something to celebrate. If not, then maybe I can do something for you.
Okay, I will do that.
See you tomorrow, and good night.
Good night.
And sleep well.
You too. two angry-looking saurian creatures. Both of them look as if they are watching over the museum's entrance. My motorcycle. Hello? Dad? Are you home? Oh God, my head's gonna explode. Oh, hell. Someone's been at work here too. First his office and now his apartment? What has my father gotten himself into? I should be more careful in the future. The guys who did this seem like they're pretty darn serious. There's something in between the planks. I hope no one's expecting me to read that. Oh, the book has a lock. And apparently it's not a book at all, but some sort of chest well disguised in the cover of a book that no one would willingly pick up. The chest is secured with a lock. The key should be fairly flat, so the old hairpin trick probably won't work. Why there are people in the world who are soothed by stupidly gaping at fishes I will never... Wait a sec. There's something sparkly over there. Besides a few fish, there's a key swimming around in there. It's unbelievable how little clothing men need to get through life. Why am I doing this? The smell alone could probably peel the paint off the walls. But then again, beggars can't be choosers. Password protected. Think, Nina, think. Two, 4, 5, 2. Nothing's happening. Looks like it's the wrong code. Come to think of it, my father has always had a hard time remembering codes. He must have kept it somewhere easily accessible for him. All right, I'll do it. A single rubber glove and a bicycle spoke. Not exactly a spectacular profit. Oh, the handle just came off. My motorcycle. The storage compartment is open now. My motorcycle. My motorcycle. My cell phone and my sunglasses. I'd better take both before they get swiped. A box full of junk that is practically screaming that I'm going to find something inside that'll be useful to me at some point. A whole pile of cigarette butts. Looks like there was a chain smoker at work here. On top of that, my father is such a strict non-smoker, he even banned smoking anywhere on the property. The thing will fall apart if I so much as look at it. Aside from that, I do have my motorcycle. I can move more quickly with it. The only thing that could still be of use is the air pump. Hello there.
Hello?
What are you doing here all alone? Did you sleep here or something?
Who are you?
My name is Nina. And yours?
Oh, hello, Nina. I'm Lisa.
So tell me, did you really spend the night here?
Yes?
Why? Don't you have a home?
Yeah, but I was scared.
To go home?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in a whole lot of trouble for sure. My bike is broken, and Dad's camera, too.
And that's why you spent the night out here in the cold? How did that happen?
I was playing here in front of the museum, and then suddenly, I got scared. I didn't exactly know why, but I just wanted to hide in the bushes. And then suddenly, there were these strange men in black costumes. So I sat there in the bushes, and suddenly I got even more scared. I just wanted to get away. Then on accident, I pushed the button on the camera. There was a bright flash, and the men turned around. They looked at me, but
But what?
they didn't have faces. It was so awful, and then I just ran away. I ran and ran as fast as I could. And then I realized that I had lost my camera, and so I had to go back. Luckily, those creepy men weren't there anymore. And I found the camera again, but it didn't work anymore. And since my bike was broken too, I didn't dare go home. Will you help me? Will you come home with me? Or can I live with you?
No, better not. But I'll help you fix the stuff. But you have to promise me that you'll go home right away. Your parents are probably worried to death.
Okay, good.
What's up with the bike?
I think I ran over some stupid shard of glass at the construction site, and now I have a flat. And to top it off, the bike was brand new, and my mother made sure to tell me to take extra good care of it, because we don't have much money, you know, and we can't afford a new bike.
Don't worry. You don't need to buy a new bike just because you have a flat. I can take a look at it. And your camera, too.
Would you do that for me? You're so nice. But do you even know how?
Of course, no problem. Give it to me.
I don't know. What if you can't fix things so good? Fix the bike first. If you can do that, then I'll give you the camera. It was really expensive, and if you break it even more...
Yeah, I understand. I gotta prove myself first. Okay, good. Then we'll start with the tire. This photo is my only hope for a hot lead. So there's nothing left for me to do but start fixing the tire. See you later.
But you'll be back, promise?
Of course. Don't you worry. I'll have to remove the tube. The bucket is full of water. The tube is definitely busted. There's air coming out somewhere. I should find out where it's coming from. I'll hold the tube underwater and see where the bubbles come out. So I found the hole and marked the spot. So now I've smeared glue on the glove. Hopefully this stuff won't dry too quickly. Hopefully the glove will withstand the pressure. I can't think of a better alternative right now. If I oversalt the pizza, it will probably not get any tastier. Hello, I'm back again.
Oh, hello, Nina.
I patched the hole in the tube.
I never would have thought it.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you don't exactly look like you could do something like that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm a motorcycle mechanic.
Yeah, so? You still don't look like you could fix a bike.
I'll just take that as a compliment. And now that I've proved myself worthy, I can fix your camera too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Here, take it.
See you later.
But you'll be back, promise?
Of course, don't you worry. This digital camera doesn't work. I have no idea how I'm supposed to fix it. I still hope I can get a few significant photos from it. This thing has all the bells and whistles. You can even play Orion Squad 1 with it. It's unbelievable how there's a dentist's appointment on one and a shopping list on the other. I can't read the third one, and the fourth one is empty. These don't get me anywhere. Dad's old shortwave radio. The antenna is broken off and there's no tape cassette inside. I doubt I'll hear anything other than a steady static hiss. Dark blue and very cool. Got it! A cassette. That's weird. Was it left there deliberately, or did it just happen to fall in there by accident?
The first and last on the car. A fourth of the openings in the entrance to the underworld. And finally, the guardians of my work.
What? What's that? Some kind of code? Dad, sometimes you are just off your rocker. Password protected. Think, Nina, think. 2, 3, 4, 2. No wonder Dad tape recorded the code. No one would be able to find the password very quickly. You're not supposed to read other people's email. Then again, extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary measures. So let's start snooping around. There are only 2 emails in the inbox. One about boosting performance and the other about women over 80. Neither of them interest me that much. The trash file is empty. But there's an email to ok@nms.de in the sent file. Subject, Tunguska. Could be interesting. I'll just go ahead and open it.
Hello, Oleg. Haven't heard from you in a long time. I'm doing well again. It took me quite some time to come to terms with the whole thing. To answer your question, it's been a long time since I've thought about that.
And honestly, I'm rather happy about it. I underestimated those guys once already, and my wife paid with her life.
I swore back then to drop the subject for once and for all. Please don't take offense, but I'm just going to leave it at that. But now that you're living nearby again, we can meet in person. I would like to see you again.
Get in touch and let me know when and where would be convenient. Vladimir Kalenkov.
Dad underestimated these guys and my mother paid with her life? What did he mean by that? She died in a car accident. I really need to contact this Oleg. Maybe he knows something that can help me out. That's the email that...
Hello, Oleg. To answer, and I swear, but now that
Get
Who should I call? My father would answer if he could, and I'm not really in the mood for small talk. That's the email.
and I but now
get
The chest is secured with a lock. A few of the rungs are broken. Looks as if someone climbed up here.
the first and last.
What? There are batteries in here. Maybe they still work. I'll leave the portable cassette player here, though. I don't want to schlep around any unnecessary junk. What do you know? It works after all. The batteries were just dead. Now I'm curious to see what the pictures show. They're all pictures of Lisa. But here, two little figures in black robes. Too bad you can't see the faces. But then Eddie could have been right. Maybe I should go talk to him again. Here, I fixed your camera.
Really? Cool, you really did it. You're great, thanks.
Don't mention it.
Here, just for that, I'll give you my lucky charm. It's a little magnet in the shape of a hamster. We hang it on our microwave at home, but I think you should have it.
Oh, thanks a lot. Now get going. Your parents are probably worried sick about you. Unfortunately, I can relate to that all too well right now. I'll try to draw the key up the side of the glass using the magnet. Got it. My father's address book. That could help me out. And a little note attached to a ribbon. There's a number on this note. LA60AK19AL. Under that, there's a description of the diadem that was probably robbed from an Oriental princess about 200 years ago. Originally, the 3 largest gemstones in the world had been incorporated into this diadem. On the left, an emerald. On the right, a ruby. And in the middle, an amethyst. My father wrote something on the back. The diadem will illuminate the real princess, and she will realize that money is not the greatest treasure. Let's see if this Oleg is in there, the one who wrote the email to Daddy. Oh, here. Oleg Kambursky. He even lives close by. Maybe I should just pay him a little visit. So here we are. Hopefully that's the Oleg that my father wrote the email to. And hopefully he knows something that can be helpful. I haven't really been able to find out much yet. A relic from long ago, before everyone had cell phones. I wouldn't know who to call, and even if I did know who to call, why am I paying exorbitant basic rates for my cell phone if I don't use it? A sweet little food bowl for our furry friends.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you Oleg Kambursky?
Yeah. Why?
I'm Nina Kalinkov.
Yeah? And?
Yeah, okay. You know my father, Vladimir Kalinkov, and I thought you...
I don't know any Vladimir Kalinkov. And now, if you'll excuse me, please.
Phooey. That wasn't very successful. I hope for the biggest break in the search for my father, and that guy doesn't even let me speak. Did I say something wrong? Or exactly the right thing? The guy is hectically making phone calls. Does that have something to do with my visit? If only I were a fly on the wall in his office. Oleg is still on the phone, and he's not exactly leaving the impression that he's relaxed. Looks like this Kambursky guy is a hobby gardener. Even his garden hose is green. I've reinforced the opening of the bag with the bucket's handle. Just a little more tape around it. Yeah, that should do it. I'm finally gonna get rid of this stinky stuff, and the cute little fuzzball will probably even like it. Now I can tape my cell phone almost everywhere. The cell phone's camera function is on, a rare example of the European roaming dictaphone. Now I just need to somehow lure the cat into the kitchen. That should make our little pussycat real thirsty. Wonderful, it worked! Oleg is still on the phone, and the cat will be drinking for a while, and hopefully recording the conversation. I love it when a plan comes together. Let's see how the cat reacts to my cell phone's vibrate mode. Oh, great. The cat is up in the tree, and my cell phone is stuck up there in a crotch of the tree. How am I supposed to get to it? work. Wonderful. Let's see if the recording of Oleg's phone conversation gets me anywhere.
Kalenkov isn't here anymore. No, Tunguska wasn't mentioned, but there wasn't any opportunity to either. Yeah, I just think someone urgently needs to take care of the matter. All right, so you'll call back then. Bye.
Well, that wasn't very productive. Okay, so this is what we have. Someone should be tending to some kind of matter. I hope the matter isn't me. Besides that, something about Tunguska. There was also something in the mail for Oleg. Maybe I should ask Max about that later. Max Gruber said he'd be back at the museum sometime this evening. I should use the time to get some shut-eye. If my feminine intuition doesn't fail me, I could regret it if I don't.
Did you get what I wanted?
Not yet. We've searched through everything but haven't found anything.
And Kalenkov?
Still nothing here either. We'll probably have to take other options into consideration.
I don't care what you do, as long as I get results. Don't disappoint me.
Strange. I feel like I'm always being followed. Even when I came home earlier, for a brief moment, I thought that I saw the face of that Konski guy in the window. Oh well, most likely it's my nerves. I hope Max heard something from my father. Hello? Can I interrupt for a moment?
You're not interrupting. On the contrary. Have you heard from your father?
No, unfortunately not. And last night I was attacked.
Attacked? Are you hurt?
No, nothing to worry about. But it must be because of something important. Do you really have no idea what it could be?
No, He's been under a lot of stress in the last few days, but that's happened before. Looking back, there are plenty of ways to interpret it, but especially conspicuous? No, not really.
That's a shame. Yesterday evening you offered me your help. Does the offer still stand?
But of course. My name is Max, by the way.
Nina. But you know that, don't you?
So, ask away.
In the last few hours, I've heard the name Tunguska several times. Do you know anything about it?
Do you mean that Tunguska catastrophe from 1908?
Yes, could be.
At the beginning of the last century, something exploded there. The destruction must have been enormous, but even today, nobody really knows what happened back then. Your father once took part in an expedition to Tunguska, but you probably know that, don't you?
We never really spoke much about what he used to do. After my mother's death, he never wanted to speak about his work in Russia anymore.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was a long time ago. She was killed in a traffic accident. Shortly after that, we came to Germany. I think my father simply wanted to leave all of that behind him.
And your father never spoke about his work in Russia? Didn't you ever ask him?
No. He asked me never to ask him again, and I kept my word, despite being very interested at times.
Well, I know a little more about it. In 1908, an unidentified object went down over the Siberian taiga. A huge area was completely destroyed by the shockwave and a wall of fire. The shepherds who lived there, the so-called Evenk, were either hurled through the air or burnt. There were hardly any survivors to witness anything. Several expeditions were started to find out the cause of this catastrophe, but despite all their efforts, no clues or any evidence was found that was at all helpful. And in time, several fantastic theories arose, from a meteorite colliding with Earth, to the appearance of an unknown type of energy, to the explosion of a spaceship. And off the top of my head, that is about everything that I can tell you on the subject. But somewhere in the archive, I still have a few articles over the Tunguska phenomenon lying around. Shall I go and get them?
Yes, that would be sweet of you. Oleg spoke about it, and I read one of my father's mails to him. There was also something about it in there. Maybe it will bring me a little further.
Okay, I just have to get a few small things done here, and then I'll have a look around the archive.
Thank you very much. Yesterday evening, Eddie was mumbling something about people in black robes. I didn't take him very seriously at first, because his description was, let's say, a little strange. But I spoke to a little girl today who saw something similar last night. She even took a photo of the men in black robes. Unfortunately, there is not very much to see, but I'll certainly speak to Eddie about it again. Do you know where I can find him?
No, I have no idea. I haven't seen him all day. He's probably crept away somewhere quiet to think about it all.
You mean he's drinking again?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Unless...
Unless what?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? Come on out with it, tell me.
Well, if those strange men in black noticed that he was watching them...
You mean they came back?
I don't know. At the moment, I have no idea what is actually happening here.
Well, this is something we have in common. Does the name Oleg Kambursky say anything to you?
Kambursky? Oleg Kambursky? No, nothing. Should it?
Unfortunately, I don't exactly know that either. I found this piece of paper amongst my father's records. Does it tell you anything?
LA60 AK19AL? That sounds like one of our exhibits. What about it?
No idea. I was hoping that you could tell me that.
Not spontaneously, but I can go and get the item. The note with the description of the diadem is missing, but you just had it in your hand. I don't know any more about it either.
Thanks a lot. Can I take my time to have a look at it?
Of course, but please don't forget to put it back later. Otherwise your father will tear my head off.
If he still can.
Hey, stop thinking like that. We'll find him, I promise.
Yes, hopefully. There must be an important reason why Daddy kept a piece of paper with the description of the diadem at home. But what? And what is that about the true princess? He used to call me that sometimes. Is it a message to me that I should be able to understand somehow? Think, Nina. Think quickly. The things out of the archive about Tunguska.
Yes, I'll get going now. But it could take a while until I've sorted through the records.
No problem. I'll wait here. Looks kind of threatening. That red eye on the totem seems to be following me everywhere I go. I don't even believe in magic and all that stuff, but I find it creepy anyway. So the spoke has now broken off, but that eye now can no longer look at me in that evil way. I can only hope that Max doesn't notice. Let's see what we find here. I'll put the stone into the acid and see how it reacts. The acid is doing its work admirably. The stone is beginning to corrode. I'll have to take it out of the acid at the right moment, otherwise the inclusion will go the same way as the rest of the stone. Plaster of Paris. The text says to add water and vegetable oil and mix to achieve the desired consistency. The radiator is lukewarm. If I turn the valve now, I'll ruin the whole floor. Maybe I shouldn't have opened the valve that far. A load of water has come out. I'll squeeze a bit of this oily, slimy liquid into the bowl. I hope I know what I'm doing. That diadem has now been robbed of any beauty it once had. Great! It fits! Yes, that should hold. The 3 stones have not been substituted with cheap imitations yet. I'll have to think of how to complete the diadem again. I've laid both lenses over each other. They now have a green shimmer. I hope that thing is in the right position. As soon as the putty has dried, I'll only be able to get it off with brute force. Whether I'll get any brighter? Wow, it works! Somebody seems to have marked one of the rooms with invisible ink, and it has just been revealed by the colored light beam. I have no idea where this room 8 is located exactly because there's no map key, although it seems to be one of the rooms that are being renovated.
Wow, not bad. I only go away for a few minutes and you transform the museum into a light show.
Oh, I'm sorry, but...
That's okay. But what is all this stuff and what does it mean?
I don't exactly know either. But if this riddle really comes from my father, then he must have had an extremely good reason for the whole effort.
Have you found anything out yet?
I'm still working on it. And you? Is there anything new on the subject of Tunguska?
Not a lot. Here, I found these 2 articles.
The light beam has changed the color of the escape plan on the wall. A room with the number 8 seems to be highlighted. Is that one of the rooms that is currently being renovated?
Yes, and they've been renovating it for ages. The complete substance of this house is unfortunately no longer the best, and the workers are having a lot of problems completing the job.
Was there anything special in that room?
Well, no, not really. All of the exhibits from that room are currently stored in my office. Are you looking for something specific?
If only I knew.
We can go straight to my office. Maybe you'll find something there to help you out. Come on into my office and we'll have a look at the exhibits from room 8. Have a look around. All these things are out of the room that's being renovated.
That thing has obviously just been set in there. It doesn't belong to the relief disc. The coin seems to complete the set. The note says, and the prince said to the princess, whether vertical, horizontal, or in both main diagonals, make sure that there is never a repeat within a line. Does that have something to do with the coins? opened up a trap door. It appears to be some kind of secret compartment. What could my father need one for? It contains documents. It has to do with my father's research expeditions. It's written here that in 1958, he was the leader of a secret expedition into the Tunguska region. Apparently, after the 1958 expedition, someone in the highest position tried to keep the results secret. It has to do with some strange plant growth. Daddy wanted to continue his research, but all further investigations were prohibited. Then apparently he did travel to the region again himself, only in the company of a certain Manuel Perez and a local guide. That was in 1977. If I understand this correctly, a lot went wrong on this expedition. Something awful happened to Perez, and both of them were arrested. My father has not been able to find out what exactly happened to him that night, and Perez disappeared without a trace from that time forward. Daddy writes later that here at the latest, he should have realized that human life is always more important than research. What does he mean? Maybe I should ask Max. He'd be able to help me with all the formulae and explain the scientific expressions. And this is a letter from some society in Ireland. But these are just empty pages? I definitely need help. Maybe Max knows something about it all.
Sorry, I still don't have anything.
But how that is connected with my father's disappearance, I don't yet know. But I have found some of his records in a secret compartment. They describe a secret expedition and some very strange events and...
Hey, slow down. I can't follow you that quickly.
The best thing to do would be to come with me to my father's office. I'll show you the records, and then we should perhaps have a look at his filing cabinet.
Okay, let's go.
I told you that I didn't want to see you here again. Believe me, it really would have been better if you had kept out of it. Now I have no other choice but to...
Oleg Kambersky?
Looks like I came just in time. Are you okay?
Yes, I think so. What did the detective want from us anyway?
Did he want to shoot us?
Well, he probably doesn't have his weapon trained on you just for the fun of it. We should get away from here before this guy wakes up. I'm sorry that I was so unfriendly when we first met. For some time now, I've had the feeling that I'm being pursued, and my nerves are shot right now. Of course I know your father. To be precise, I have known him for a very long time, and I know him very well. I was with him on one of his expeditions back then. We were in the Tunguska region back then, together with the Cuban Manuel Perez, an Irish biologist whose name I can't recall at the moment, and some assistants. I don't want to get into details regarding the events of the past, but for some reason, someone appears to be very interested right now. I have the feeling that not only your father, but I as well am in danger, and possibly all members of that past expedition still living. Of course, I can't prove it, but if I'm not mistaken, the Russian Secret Service, FSB, could be behind it. They already tried back then to prevent us, and your father in particular, from undertaking further expeditions. You know about your mother?
My mother? Why? What does she have to do with anything?
You know that she died in an accident?
Yes, but...
It is rather questionable whether it really was an accident. You were in the car as well. I was driving behind you when the car suddenly crashed through a bridge railing and plunged into a river. I was barely able to get you out of there. But when I tried to save your mother, 2 of my fingers were torn off. Therefore...
Daddy never told me anything about that.
I'm certain he tried not to burden you with that as well. The 2 of us have already reproached ourselves enough. But enough about the past. Now we have to find your father again. Due to the events of the last few days, I activated a few of my contacts. One of them is Sergei, who is moving in circles which, well, I'd rather not be found anywhere near them. But he knows just about everything that no one is actually supposed to know. According to his information, a research station was built in the Tunguska region decades ago, and now another transport is planned to go there. Supposedly, not all the scientists who are to be transported there are participating voluntarily. This research trip and the disappearance of your dad a few days before its start could very well be linked.
Does that mean my father was kidnapped and is now sitting on a train to Siberia? What do they want from him?
Even if, officially, he hasn't been active in research for years, he is still an expert in his field. I am sure that Sergei could help us.
I have to go to Moscow?
I have an airplane. We could be there in a few hours. I know this is all quite a lot to swallow at once, but if your dad is really on that train, we have no time to lose. As soon as he reaches the Tunguska region, we'll barely be able to get him out again. The area around the station is too heavily guarded.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but maybe it is the only chance. So let's go.
It would be good if someone stayed behind, in case Vladimir does get in touch after all.
But...
Nina, we should go if we want another chance to get there before the train leaves.
I suppose I could have another look at your father's records, but I don't have a good feeling.
Great. Then let's go.
Take good care of yourself, okay?
I'll do my very best. I wish I could.
Yes, me too. Good luck.
Oleg didn't tell me you were such a beauty. If I had known that, my price would have gone down.
Yes, I'm happy to see you too. You can help me in the search for my father?
Sergei can do a lot of things. Some say Sergei can do everything. But Sergei is martyr, so let's just stick with Sergei can do almost everything.
Yes. Modesty honors you.
What can I do for you?
I thought you knew that.
Sure. But Sergei needs all the information again firsthand. And looking at your mouth and your moving lips...
Are you going to help me or just gawk?
How does the saying go? One hand washes the other...
Okay. So, my father has disappeared. I only wanted to meet him in the museum where he worked. And as I arrived...
Yeah. Sergei knows that.
Then what do you want to know?
What did your father do in the last few weeks? What was he working on? Who was he working for?
Oh, quite honestly, I have no idea. I have never really spoken to my father to any extent about his work. He tends to hold hour-long lectures about scientific things, and after a few minutes, I tend to fall half asleep. Then at some time, we agreed to leave the subject of work out of our conversations.
Not good. Really not good.
Yes, I know, but it doesn't matter now anyway. But again, I really don't know what it was, or for who he has been working for recently. Besides his work for the museum, he still held lectures and prepared reports, but I can't be any more exact than that. All I know is that in the last few days he seemed a bit unconcentrated, as if he was especially concerned with something. But what that was?
That gets us nowhere. A couple of birdies told me in the last few days that another train is leaving for the Tunguska region today. It has to do with some kind of scientific experiments. What kind exactly, I don't know. But it's not important now. In any case, a few old friends have been reactivated.
Old friends? Reactivated?
Scientists and people who know the area who were in the Tunguska region in the past, they were, well, asked to cooperate. Some came voluntarily. Others had to be persuaded.
Oh, I understand.
Good. Be that as it may, your father may be with them.
Is he in danger?
If he doesn't do anything stupid, he won't have any problems normally.
But how are we going to get him out?
We aren't going to get him out at all. But as I've already said, Sergei can do almost everything. An old acquaintance is standing at the side entrance of the train station. He'll take you in and give you a pass and a uniform. As soon as you're on board the train, you should be able to find enough time to look around. The guards on board are usually busy drinking and playing cards during the trip. Oh, and by the way, you're traveling under the name Nina Perkova. Your last name could give you away if your father is actually on board.
So I get in the train, eliminate all the guards, and free my father. Alone? Great plan. Just great.
When you find him, then we'll see how you'll get your father out. Not to worry. Sergei would never leave such a sweet ass hanging.
Okay, that's a relief then. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous about my father. I really am happy that you could help me. Thank you.
That's okay, little one. They don't call Sergei the good soul of Moscow for nothing. And don't forget, even if you get information that you don't know what to do with, Sergei can certainly figure it out.
Okay, I'll see what I can find out.
Nice weather we're having, isn't it?
Yeah. It's much too nice to sit around out here. Comrade Yushin is taking your shift now. Isn't that nice of him? What? Why?
Come with me. Let's chat a bit.
It doesn't seem to be my lucky day today. Was that a coincidence, or did they find out that Sergei bribed one of the guards? In any case, I now have a huge problem. Sergei has gone. My cell phone has no signal here, and I have to get onto the train fast. Nina, it's time for a stroke of genius. I need an idea.